easiest thing to do is to stand over the bike. And you want to stand over like this, and there should be a few, maybe an inch or two of clearance. Half inch to an inch is ideal. Clearance above the top frame. The other thing we want you to look out for is to make sure that some of the main things of the bike are working. Things that are expensive to replace, or that will just cause you grief in the future. One thing that's often overlooked is that the seat post moves. And so I'm going to open this one up, and this one slides very nicely. They don't always slide like that, but as long as there's some movement, that's a good thing. If it doesn't move, you won't be able to adjust the height. The other thing that's really important is making sure your wheels spin true. And by true, I mean straight. So give it a spin, and just look down at the rim, not the tire so much, but the silver rim part, and make sure that it's spinning nice and true. If it's got a wobble to it, wheels are very expensive to replace. And check front and rear for this because you want your wheels to be safe and strong. Two other things that we want to point out when you're buying a bike is that it has brakes that work. So just roll the bike forward and squeeze the brake lever on each side. One is the front brake, one is the rear brake. Brakes aren't usually that expensive to replace the brake pads, so it shouldn't be a deal breaker, but you should be aware of it. The other thing you want to look for is damage on the frame. Scratches are okay. You can see here on this bike that there's some scratches. That's okay. Used bikes often do have that. But you're looking for major scratches, or major cracks, sorry, that might cause structural issues down the road. Finally, you want to check that the drivetrain, and what I mean by that is the chain and all the gears that go along with the chain, that they're not slipping. That's one of the things we find in used bikes is the chain starts to stretch, it wears down the gears, and suddenly when you're pedaling, when you stand up out of the saddle, if you really want to get going quickly, that's where you start to slip, and that's no fun. Sometimes you can fall forward on the frame. It's also expensive to replace. It means often that you have to replace the chain, the gears, and we call this part the crankset. So certainly one way to check for that is to do a test ride. And you're going to check in each of the gears, you're going to put a lot of force on it as if you're starting from a stop. Go for a quick test ride, and hopefully the person selling the bike to you will let you do that. And then you'll be able to check that it's got some life left in the gears and the chain.